What's going on, people? Welcome to the live match reaction, aka live watch along. Maybe this has never happened before, but you know what? There's no reason to wait. There's no reason to wait to start this reaction. Absolute disgraceful performance by Palace. Let's not brush it aside. City game, we said it's a one-off, but 2 games in a row, 5 goals conceded. We need to talk, and there's no point. I can't watch any more of that. It's on the background. Hopefully, for my sake, the scoreline doesn't change, so I don't have to change the thumbnail or the title. I kept it as 5-0. We'll see if they score 6 or if Palace end up scoring a goal. Absolutely terrible. It's just, it's disgraceful. There's nothing else that I could say about the performance other than the body language seems off. Just everything's off by Palace. You could say it started after the penalty, but even before the penalty, it was just far too easy. We're gonna start by also mentioning that if you do enjoy the stream, hit the like button, subscribe. You can call into the show live if you want to. The link is posted. I wish the game could end right now, but it's still going on. I think there's about 9 minutes or so left. Lou, talk to me.
Well, I don't even know what to say, man. If Kamada got all the flack from last week, then from Saturday, then Ebbs has got to get just as much from that penalty. I don't know what the hell that was. I don't know what the hell any of it was, man. Yeah, terrible.
I knew he was going to miss that. I just had a feeling he was going to miss. His whole body language just seemed off. Like, I was like, yeah, he's definitely missing. Like, he's just definitely missing. The penalty was terrible. I don't know why Mateta didn't take it. It was not even like a bad penalty. It was a terrible one. I don't know what he was thinking. It was so easy to save. But for me, the penalty happened and then they scored a second goal after, I think. For me, the defending, it has been shocking for the past 2 games. And today, there's no excuse. Gay's back in the side. Rich is playing. Lacroix's playing. Gay's playing. This is the same Palace side that have, conceded 12 goals away from home before the game against City, and we've managed to concede 10 in the last 2 games. Like, what on earth is going on? What do you think it is? For me, everything, like, it just looks terrible. The body language just seems off, man. And you can't have that right now. And a lot of people talk about the semi-final. Just forget about the semi-final for a moment. Like, we got games to play before the semi-final. Of course, we want to get there. Of course, everyone will take losing this game and that game or whatever game if we beat Villa in the semi-final. Yes, but it shouldn't be like that. We've been professional all season long. We've got a manager who goes into every game with the intention of winning. And the last 2 performances, well, especially this one, because at least against City, we had something and then we crumbled. This one, there's no excuses. Everyone is fit. Everyone's, the lineup, he did change up a bit. But everyone's available. He said that as well. And here we are, 5-0. We've started a reaction early because there's nothing else that we have to wait on. The only thing that we'll have to talk about is another Newcastle goal conceded. And that's fine. I mean, we can talk about the 5. We don't have to talk about a 6th one. This is the same old story. But for me, I don't understand what's going wrong with the defense. I think out wide today, it seems far too easy. Far too easy for Newcastle to break us down. Far too easy. Like, what's the point? What's the point? I get we're thinking about the semi-final, but forget about the semi-final for a second, man. You're meant to be professional players. Like, focus on here and there. Like, you don't want to go into the semi-final, and I said this in the preview, you don't want to go into the semi-final with losses, like 4 losses in a row, with 5-0 losses or conceded 5 goals in 2 games. Like, you don't want to do that. I understand semi-final is massive for everyone, for the fan base and for the players as well, but there needs to be a reality check, and here's a reality check. Like, stop thinking so far ahead for the semi-finals. We still had something to play for in the league, which you can write it off right now because it's been terrible. I just find the behavior, the body language of the player just seems way too off. But do you think there's anything tactical? Do you think it's the players, the manager? Where do you even start with? I don't even know where to fucking start with this.
I spoke about this, about us struggling when we go 1-0 down. I think it might just be a momentum shift in general because I don't really have much to say, man. It's shocking. The last 30, so 60 plus 9. The last 150 minutes have been, bad, man.
Yeah, Matthew saying this is on the players. Let's bring on the first caller. Mason, how you doing?
Not great.
Yeah,
Not great.
I don't blame you. Look, I mean, we started the reaction a bit early. It's been a while since I spoke to you, but right now, currently speaking, it is 5-0. There's still, I think, 5 or 6 minutes left of the game.
Yeah.
But what's gone wrong? What's happening?
Look, you can sort of focus on a semi-final. I understand that, but you're still putting in effort. You're still putting in a performance, and we haven't today. And obviously, Newcastle through the league do have a lot more to fight for. The third, edging close to the Champions League football. But today it's been pathetic, absolutely pathetic. Now, one thing that I don't get, and there's obviously been a catalogue of errors, and Ketty had nearly scored, but there's been one error that I can pick out. Chilwell's not even on the pitch, I don't think. Mitchell is still on this pitch, right? Now, he's not been the worst player today, but he just looks physically knackered. And he's not on the pitch. He's not on the pitch. We're acting like we haven't signed a left-back. We was begging for one in the window, and Glasner isn't playing him. I understand he hasn't got the squad depth to be able to compete on both fronts with the Premier League and the FA Cup realistically, because we haven't got the depth for it. But there is still errors that he's making with this squad, and I don't understand it. But yeah, it's been a disgrace. It's been a disgrace, to be honest. Like the Eze penalty, first of all, I don't get why Mateta didn't take it. Everyone else seems to be it's not really commenting on that, but I don't get why Mateta didn't take it. But even still, the penalty was so slow that Pope was able to go the wrong way and go back the right way. Like with these cool, calm penalties, I don't get it. And obviously I think the game might have been a bit different if that had gone in. But it's just been a horror show. I think that's the only way you can describe it, really. 12 goals conceded in our last 14 away games before the City game. 10 games our last 2. I don't know. And look, we can change the squad up against Arsenal, especially. Hopefully Bournemouth, we play a little bit better just off the basis we're at home, and obviously fans will be there. I'm going especially, but like I think everyone's just staring at the arch, the Wembley arch, and they can't take their eyes off it, and that's why we're struggling in these games lately.
Yeah, I do. I just want to focus on the defense, to be fair, because that's the biggest thing. Like, I don't know what's happened to this defense in the last 2 games. And today, there's no excuses. Gay's in the side as well. Richards is there, Lacroix there, Gay's there. For you, do you look at those players? Do you look at the wing backs? Do you look at the team structure as a whole? Because some of the chances that Newcastle have had is very unlike Palace. There's been so much spacing behind. What do you think is going on there? Is it tactical?
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't be more, you're just absolutely spot on, to be honest, in terms of the spaces and everything else. But I obviously highlighted Mitchell. I think, yes, not taking away the strike from Murphy for that first goal, but ball watching when I think it was Trippier, and he went towards the ball, not watching what's going on behind him. People might argue that's Gay's job as well, but still, not watching his man there. You've got Lacroix giving away the ball for the 5th goal. Obviously, game was done, but still, you've got to look at that. Gay and Richards just look very mediocre. I thought Gay would have been a bit better, because he's come back from suspension. Munoz getting out battled by Livramento. Everyone was saying they were, intrigued to see the battle between the two. But I think there's only been one winner, and that's being shown by the scoreline.
Yeah. What do you make of the attack? JP got subbed off again. As they, of course, missed a penalty, but apart from the penalty thing, I don't know what else he really done during that game. So I wasn't surprised that he got subbed off. Esse's now on the pitch. Nketiah's on the pitch. Kamada's on the pitch. Is it a case of the whole team collectively, or do you think the attack could have done a bit better as well today with the chances? Because we had a few half.
Esse actually looks quite decent.
Esse looks decent. I'm obviously watching it as well. Esse looks decent. Nketiah had a strike on goal, just wide as well.
Nketiah slipped, man. Yeah. I'm a bit behind.
Just seen that. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there it is. But you know, I think I think that's a case of obviously Newcastle are going to back off. They're not going to put as much energy into their play because they're 5-0 up. They don't need to risk anything. You know, they've probably got bigger games than this coming up to be able to stay third and just cement Champions League football for themselves. So as much as these players have come on and done all right, you know, the game's done from a Newcastle perspective. In terms of the first half, there was one moment, I think it was literally about a minute before we went 1-0 down. Ismail Assar goes through in the middle, and then he could put Mateta through, and he puts it out wide to Munoz, and it's not a good ball anyway. And then Munoz puts the ball in, and the shot from Sarr is tame. Like, that's another one that we said could do with the break. Ismail Assar, like, might have been a bit early for SA to maybe start. He's not started the game for the club, but I'm looking at Mateus Franca. He's not on the pitch. Like, you know, we were saying Franca and Chilwell should be given chances for this game, and they're both not on the pitch.
Yeah, I'm surprised about that as well.
Sick. Gordon, just wide. Could have been sick.
Yeah, just wide. That was just wide. Just quickly about Bournemouth. What do you do after these last 2 games? Do you make wholesale changes to our message, or do these players need to prove themselves? Because a lot of them have been playing well, and you know, since the turn of the year, we've been very good. But the last 2 games have been pathetic. So, what would you do if you're Glasner?
Well, I mean, first of all, these players have got to take a long, hard look in the mirror and realise that we still have a league campaign to finish off. Even though Europe through the Premier League is pretty much long gone, we're 5 points behind Bournemouth, Brighton, and Fulham. Obviously, we are playing Bournemouth, so if we were able to win, we go 2 points behind them. So top half's not out of the question. That's something I will say. But if we keep playing like this, yeah, you might as well write that off. In terms of changes, there's not much that Glasner can really do because he hasn't got the depth. Obviously, I think Mitchell, we're going to say the same thing. Mitchell needs to break. Chilwell needs to play, but he's not even come on the pitch. So I think that's just a bit of a false hope, to be honest. I think Wharton needs to start. I think he's come on and not done too bad in midfield. I think Wharton needs to start with Hughes again. Not saying Lerma played badly, but, you know, I just think there needs to be wholesale changes. And obviously, when it comes to Bournemouth, they've got, again, a lot more to fight for because they are within that team that are fighting for 8th place, which will get you Conference League. They're fighting for it. And in terms of performances, points we're not far off, but in terms of performances, we're nowhere near it right now. So, yeah.
Yeah. Performance, that's the biggest worry. That's the biggest worry right now. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But look, appreciate you coming on, Mason. Hopefully we'll catch up with you again after a bit more of a positive result.
All right, cheers. Thank you.
All right, then, take care. That was Mason having to say, if you want to call in to the show, you can click on the pinned comment. The game, I think, is about to end. It's very close to ending. Still 5-0. But yeah, I guess we got the FA Cup, right? Wembley. Flipping forgetting about the league whilst talking about this damn cup, which of course we'd all love to win, but I just feel like we're just losing a bit of focus right now. Let's bring on Stan next. Stan,
yo,
5-0. The game hopefully ends 5-0 and no other goals conceded. But what's your thoughts?
I think these players have embarrassed this football club today. I think these players have embarrassed this football club today, mate. I think they have, and we've run out of steam. I think, that's all that I can say. I mean, listen, they're a good side, Newcastle. Like, there's no getting away from it. They're a really, really good side, and you get an opportunity to go level with them. You get a penalty, get an opportunity to go 1-1, and you have Eze. That sums up his season, man. That just sums up Eze this season. Just lackluster. Listen, I'm not a fan of people who take penalties like that in the first place. Why didn't he give it to JP? And secondly, if he's giving it to JP, why is he not if he's not giving it to JP, why is he not just put his laces through it and stuck it in the bottom corner?
That penalty was...
It's disgraceful.
It was poor. It was poor, but for me, cool, that penalty was a disgrace. But for me, it's just the defensive performance is a bigger disgrace.
Listen,
in that penalty because defensively, we've been very good so far this season, and we're conceding now in the last 2 games, 5 goals. And here, Gahey's there. He's starting. The game's ended now, thankfully. Gahey's starting. Richards, Lacroix, everyone's starting. And what's the excuse to concede 5 goals? That's my biggest worry. Look, Eze, we can talk about him, but I feel like we're taking the focus out of the bigger picture, which is the performance. You can still miss a penalty and win games, or create chances and score goals and keep clean sheets and get points. Like, that can happen. A penalty miss like that is poor.
Honestly,
the overall performance was a disgrace today, and I don't want to take the focus out of that.
I agree with you, but if you take a penalty like that, you should get fined 2 weeks' wages. You really should.
I don't think he's going to be taking another penalty. I don't know about 2 weeks wages, because I don't think that sends the right message to the rest of the players about, the pressure. If you miss a penalty that badly, then you're going to be deducted wages. I don't think that's fair. But I do think, he won't be taking a penalty again. But when it comes down to it, though, the defensive performance, what do you think has gone wrong in the last 2 games? Do you think today Newcastle tactically found the space in behind and targeted our weak areas, maybe with the wing backs? Because I think, especially in the first half, second half, I'll be honest, it's been on, but I haven't really watched as much. I saw the Lacroix chance, the one that he gave away, and they scored a goal from that. But what do you think it is about the defense? I've got no words for it. This is not the same Palace side I've watched in the last few months.
This is the business end of the season. Okay, this is the business end of the season, and the clubs that have winning mentalities, the players that have winning mentalities, come and take care of business. At this moment in time, we're not doing that, mate. That defense, honestly, I think Lacroix cooked the last 2 games. He's been poor. I think he's run out of steam. I'm not saying he's a bad player. He's had a great season for us. But, you can just see Eze there, chatting away to Anthony Gordon, smile on his face. He should be going over to fans and apologising. Apologise. You've embarrassed this football club today. Not him, but the players. They've embarrassed us. 1,200 fans have gone up there. 1,200 fans. It's not cheap to go up to Newcastle on a Wednesday night. Do you know what I mean? Show some, show a bit of kahunas, come on, man.
Yeah, I don't know, but when people suggest refund to the fans, etc. I think today
it's never going to happen. That's never going to
happen. Today, I think justifies it. I think the players themselves should collectively join up and figure out a way, because I think today is disgraceful. It's people who got work. So Wednesday night, I know we go there to support the team, and that's the biggest thing about it. But we go there to support a team. And today, it wasn't a team. It was a bunch of 11 individuals out there on the pitch. There's nothing collective about the team. So for that reason alone, I think the players themselves, I don't know about the club, but the players themselves should be collectively joining together to try make something up for the 1,200 fans that's traveled up there. And it's a long journey. It's a long journey. Of course, they made a decision to go up there. But it is embarrassing. But you talk about Lacroix, you talk about some of these defenders not being at the same level that they have been. What can we do? That's the problem. Well, I mean, what do you change against Bournemouth? You can't change anything.
You can't change because there's no one to put in.
Exactly. So that's the problem. So what do you do if you're Oliver Glasner? Do you run out the same team, or do you make a few adjustments? What do you think needs to happen now going forward against Bournemouth?
Honestly, in the defence, there's not much you can do. Tyreek needs to be taken out. And I love him. I've been with him all season. I love him. He's one of my favourite players. But he got found out today. It was one of his worst performances I've seen in the first half. He was absolutely, the amount of times that were getting down that left-hand side. So he got found out. I would get Chilwell and start him. Honestly, I'm putting it out there. I'd start Franca. I'd give him a go. I would give him a go. I would. I think Eze, again, he's another one. He's not been at it this year, man. He's not been that talisman that we needed him to be. Give me the ball, I'm going to make stuff happen. How many times did he fall over today? You know who else was poor today? Hendo. That first goal, so poor. So poor. You've got to call players out where it's due. You shipped 5 goals in 2 games. It's really, really poor. Really, really poor. And, I'd make a statement. Honestly, I cannot believe that Glasner didn't whip Eze at half-time because he was that bad. because he was that bad. And honestly, you know, he should have made a statement. And like, you know, I don't even know, you know, I don't know what's happened to us. Like, Lacroix was responsible for their 5th because he was dilly-dallying around. Maybe Richard sold him a hospital pass, I don't know, but look, man, this is our worst performance in about a year. This is like up there with losing to Brighton 4-1. That's how bad we were today.
Yeah,
and it's got to take a lot.
Newcastle, good side. Don't get me wrong.
Listen, mate, I'm taking nothing away from Newcastle. They murdered us today. They demolished us. You can't take anything away.
We shouldn't be this bad. We're not this bad.
We should not be losing.
The last 2 games, especially after the 2-0 against City, at least against City, we had something there, and then we bottled it. Today, just from the get-go, there's nothing. There's nothing there. But look, Stan, great talking to you, bro. Hopefully, catch up with you after Bournemouth.
I can stay on if you want, but if you got other people coming on,
yeah, I got. I think a few hours as well lining up. So
no worries.
Yeah. All right then.
Cheers,
Take
mate.
care, bro.
Bye.
Okay, let's bring on Patrick next. Patrick, what are you saying?
Hello, how are you today?
I'm good. We kind of spoke during the game.
Wasn't good.
But
as bad as it gets.
Talk to me. I don't even need to say how you are, what's going on. Just talk to me. What on earth?
I don't know what to say. It was a really bad performance all around. I don't. The manager looked lost at halftime. By look on his face, he looked stunned. I don't know what happened defensively. Keeper was bad. As a penalty, don't know why he took it. Don't know why he takes penalties that way. I never liked that style of penalty taking. Mitchell got picked on all game. Funny enough, I know we don't have defender. You know, he took off in the entire front 3 and midfield 2, and then he should have taken it forward the defender. But we have no defender to put on. I'd have put on. You could have put Klein, Kapora, and Chilwell on. You could put all 3 of them on, seriously. But
I think with Kapora, maybe a Kapora for Munoz could have been shot. I don't think he had a great game. I think Newcastle destroyed us in the wide areas with our wing backs. They were terrible defensively. Just sleeping on the job. I'm surprised. I don't know about you, Pat, but I'm surprised about Mitchell not being subbed off at all. I'm actually shocked. I'm not even surprised. I'm shocked.
Yeah,
because we're talking about whether, you know, is there a possibility that we could rotate him in this game and he doesn't even start the game. The fact that it's 5-0 and he ended up playing 90 minutes, I don't know what that says about how Glazer feels towards Chilwell.
Right?
Should we be worried? Or
that's what I told you. I don't think he's that impressed with him. I'm not. He hasn't played poorly, but he hasn't done anything so far to kind of stand out. So. Again, I agree. I don't know how Mitchell played the entire match. I don't get it. But like I said, the fact that not one defender was subbed, or even the goalkeeper, which managers have done in the past, and that he changed the midfield in the front 3 is kind of shocking. But that shows you that we don't have the depth in defense that we need. But this is the thing. What I'm not going to do, honestly, I'm not going to kill Gehi, Lacroix, and Richards because they've been so good the entire season. This is the first back end the 3 of them had together all season. They didn't play. Wait. Yeah, they did. So it's just 5 goals actually. This is the second game they gave up 5. Forget what I just said. Forget it. You're right. I mean, they did play the last game. My head's gone, man. My head's gone. Seriously.
Newcastle away from home is it's not easy.
Do you know what's funny as well? Dee's been mentioning this game in hand for long time. Hey, and I told you.
Not even the game in hand, Louis. He's mentioning Europe for the longest time.
I told you.
Yeah, but we were informed. We were one of the most informed teams. And
yeah, but we hadn't played. Let's be honest. I mean, Man City, Newcastle are Champions League side.
But we're not in that level yet, Patrick. That we're this bad, and that's why I do think we need to talk about the defense because
historically, the guy said on the TV, did you hear? He said the first time we've ever given up 5 goals in back-to-back matches ever in our history, first time ever. So I'm not saying it's like this is a historical day. So I'm just saying you have to give credit to Man City and Newcastle because they are. This is not giving 5 goals up to Southampton and Leicester. They are good teams. Of course, there's no excuses. I am not making excuses. Trust me. I'm just saying that these are good teams, and the rest of the team we're playing this season, they're all good teams. they're all good teams. Bournemouth, Arsenal, Forest, they're all going to be good. That's what I'm not saying that we should have get up 5 goals in each match. Don't get me wrong. So that's not what I'm trying to say. So
I don't know what to say. I genuinely don't know what to say.
I told you it was we was going to come up against a team who matched us for our intensity and our work rate, and their quality showed. And there was times in the game where they just bypassed our press because they knew what we was doing. Like even when we was pressing high, that direct ball from Shah straight across the fullback, that was causing us so many problems. As soon as we lost the ball in transition, they was onto us. Listen, I told you they're a much better team than us. I said they're much better team.
But not like we're not this bad though. That's the problem.
Listen, D, we've been playing at our peak. We've been playing at 100. Every player has been playing at their peak, and even though we've had loads of clean sheets, we have had a good amount of luck on our side.
Yeah, we have. I was thinking about that as well, watching the game. We have, but not this bad. Like Palace, we've never been this open during that run. Like
no, but this is a good team. This is what happens when a good team matches you for your energy and all the things that you have to earn before you go out and express yourself on the pitch. They matched us on more.
I think we got exposed out wide. I think
technically they're better than us. Did you see the fullbacks? Trippier, Ebbs couldn't. Like Mitchell Mitchell tried to dribble past him. Mitchell don't even have to turn a pace to get past Trippier. Livramento was. I said it would be a good battle between him and Munoz. Today you saw the gap in fullback level. Yeah, that's how big the gap is to me. Sarr again, decision making, where to play the ball in the final third. All their players know.
Why is he giving it to Munoz in that position rather than giving it to Mateta? Where he just slides it into Mateta.
But that's the difference. That you can afford to do that against lesser teams. Whereas when they're in the right position, every pass is correct.
And another thing is, honestly, Harvey Barnes and Jacob. That's Jacob, not Josh. That's Jacob Murphy, right? His brother Josh, right?
No. Yeah,
Jacob's the one that plays. Yeah. They are outstanding.
I did say Harvey Barnes in the preview.
You did.
Very technical player.
Yeah, but they kept Anthony Gordon on the bench. Anthony Gordon, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. I didn't think of the levels though. Gordon's coming off an injury, doesn't have to start, and then Barnes can get 2 goals after scoring goal. On the weekend. They are a very good team. Man.
We didn't compete, Patrick. That's
why can't I make a point without you saying we didn't? I'm not saying we didn't compete. I'm just saying that you can't belittle the fact that they are a very good team and the fact they have that kind of depth.
They're not. No one has said that. No one has said that.
You just said to me that but we didn't play well. I also said we didn't play well. But my point is they are a good team.
That's fine. And we've seen what they've done against a lot of other teams this season.
A lot of teams, right?
But we're not this bad. Like no one can convince me that we're this bad. Like they maybe they could beat us 2-0, 3-0, but 5-0 in the manner that it's happened. That's not the Palace that we've known so far away from home. We've been one of the best sides away from home before the City game. So they conceded goals. Like we need to have some respect for ourselves as well. Like we haven't been average. We've been
this is where Glasner might need to find a different way, not change his whole ethos, but find a different way of playing.
But he's not going to do that.
Well, then
that's the thing. He's not going to do that. Honestly, they are a good side. Yeah, I get that. But Palace, to me, the whole body language seemed off today. That's where I have the issue. I just feel like we just gave up, man. Everyone was just off it. Everyone was off it.
They gave up a 3-0 for sure. But here's my question, right? A lot of games we won this season. In fact, not a lot. All the games we won this season, winning at halftime 0-0. Every single one, because that was the way we were playing. At halftime, you make adjustments and we would score, the 2 goals. Today, at 1-0, we get to me, a very lucky penalty. If he scores that penalty, it's a different game. It is. But you're right. After that miss, and then he counted and scored a goal, every head dropped, and it was done. And that happens in football sometimes. It just happens. So,
but then you expect a bit better after the City game. You expect the
100%
reaction, and that's where the problem lies. There's 2 games now, 5 goals conceded. When, as I said, we've been one of the best sides in the whole Premier League away from home so far this season, and that's what it comes down to. Like, this is we could have lost today, 100%. We all said that we could have lost in the preview. Like, we weren't saying we're gonna be against Newcastle. It's gonna be harder to beat them, harder to get a win than not. Like, it was gonna be always difficult, but not in this manner. Like, even if we were going to lose, no one was talking in the preview show as, oh, we're going to go and lose 5-0 against Newcastle. We might lose, but we expect a statement from Palace, well, at least like defensively, to kind of show themselves after the City game. However, it's the same old. Like, no one expected this today. No one expected this today defensively. And that's where the problem lies. It's not the fact that we lost to Newcastle. It's the problem. It's the fact that we conceded another 5 goals. 10 goals now in the last 2 games. And before those 2 games, we conceded 12 all season away from home. That's where the problem lies. That's where the problem lies. But you can't change the defense. I'm not bringing in Nathaniel Klein in defense for Chris Richards or Lacroix or Gahey. Maybe play Lerma at the back, but who do you play Lerma for? I mean, if you can't really change, I can't think of one player in the back 3 that was like, you know what, you were terrible. All of them were bad. All of them. Lacroix was bad in particular. I think Lacroix had a horrible game, but all of them were bad. Like, none of them were good. For me, the issue was more about the wing backs. It was so easy to go to the wide areas for Newcastle, put balls into the box, especially how the game started, because they just couldn't defend. And talking about wing backs, Mitchell's side in particular. And that's why I'm surprised that Chilwell didn't come on at all in this game when he has been coming on. Like, this was the game where it's like, all right, it's 5-0. Next game, we'll talk about in the preview, of course, but there has to be some changes. I don't think you go out there with the same side. You just can't go out there with the same side. The question is, what kind of changes can you make? Because I don't think he can make as much in defense. Maybe Chilwell starting, or I don't think he's going to drop Munoz. That could potentially happen. But yeah, what do you think of the decision about Wharton not starting? Do you think that hurt us?
No. I mean, I saw you put in the chat web. No, he's not ready to play 90 minutes. He's coming off, that he came off the injury, whatever. He hasn't played 90. I don't think since he came back, maybe one match I don't think he even played. And no, I thought the idea that, and that, by the way, I don't think the midfield, which was very good for Newcastle, was the issue. You pointed out the issue was out wide. The wing backs versus Barnes and Murphy. Gahey versus Murphy didn't work out. Barnes versus anybody didn't work out. So it wasn't about, I don't think it was about the midfield. I thought Hughes and Lerma were fine for what they had to do. They battled in there. To be honest with you, I think they were 2 of the better players today with Lerma and Hughes. So, out of a very bad bunch, I can't blame Hughes and Lerma for much today, because I think Lerma got a yellow card when he crashed into Shaw. He was battling all game, got subbed off, so did Hughes. No, I don't have a problem with him with that. And again, Wharton came on, did some stuff, could have scored a goal, decided to pass the ball to catch it for some reason in the box. But no, I don't think the Wharton issue was a big deal. The problem obviously is conceding 5 goals.
Do you think we're focusing too much on the semi-final? Do you think that's playing a part?
I think that's easy to say. I don't know. I have to see. I think it's too easy to say that. How many games we played since the Fulham game? We played.
That's a good question. Since the Fulham game, we played Southampton. We didn't beat them.
We drew, and then we beat somebody at home, right?
Yeah, well, beat Brighton. That's it.
Right. Well, I mean, that's it, but that's a big game, right?
So win in the last 4 ever since the Fulham game.
I wouldn't possibly. I wouldn't blame the players for focusing on it's not like we get the semi-finals every year, so it could be a possibility. It's easy to say that. I think it's deeper than that. I just think it's a lot of silly mistakes in the back. It's poor play by too many players. It's missed opportunities. Again, Man City, you're up 2-0, you could be up 4-0, and you give up 5 goals. Today, it's 1-0, you could be 1-1, you give up 5 goals. It's not, so I don't think it's, but it could be. I don't know. I'm interested to see what Glazer says after the match.
Yeah, that's what he says it.
If he says it, then I'll say yes. But I don't know. Honestly, I can't. I don't know. You can say that.
Genuinely curious to see what Glazer says, because he said he got it wrong at half time and changed his system. I wonder who is he going to blame the players? Is he going to blame? Is he? I don't know.
He'll take the blame today, but I don't know what he did today that was wrong. Did he tell Munoz and Mitchell to push up high and get beat everyone on 1v1? I don't know. I don't think he did. Like, you were right. You could tell on Saturday that what he made mistake was a system change, but there was no system change today. It was just really poor play. Henderson giving up ridiculous goals, across slipping and giving the ball away. You know, Eze missing a penalty and taking it nonchalantly. I can't blame the manager for that, or can you? I don't know. You know, they say that the buck stops with the top person. It stops with him. He'll take responsibility. He guarantee. We will not blame the players. It's not his style. So
yeah. Let's bring on Ryan. Ryan, 5-0 defeat. Started the show earlier. I mean, whilst the game was going on, because I just felt like there's no point waiting. So we've been live for about 35 minutes. But what do you make of the game?
I'd say, in my opinion, that game meant absolutely nothing. I would be so real. I think that game meant absolutely nothing. For me, it's all about focusing on the semi-final. That's our main, that's our main goal. If we can win that, like the whole FA Cup, like that's our dream. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's for us. That's the only way now to get into Europe.
I understand that, but is that the right mentality to have? Especially losing the last game 5-2 and then this game 5 goals conceded. You know, you want to go into the FA Cup semi-final surely with a good momentum, good run of results. You know, conceding 10 goals in the last 2 away games when you've been so good, and we'll see what happens against Bournemouth and Arsenal. We've still got difficult games coming up. That's not going to give you the greatest of confidence if you go into that FA Cup semi-final with, let's say, 4 defeats and the amount of goals conceded and some of the performance that we've had.
Yeah, I do say that. Yeah, that's a good point. But I feel like when it comes to just like these, like when it comes to the cup, like it should be like that's like the most important thing. Like people should like what you call it, like the people that are playing the games need to like just realize that the cup's more important.
The cup is of course an important. It's very important. Like I would love us to beat Villa in the semi-final, but also love us to not get humiliated like we have today. If we lost it against Newcastle 1-0, we can talk about the cup being. For me, I could talk about the cup being important if we lost, I don't know, 2-0 against City, 1-0 against Newcastle, and we're like, all right, cup is more important. We took defeats. We've been humbled in the last 2 games. It's not defeats. We've been absolutely annihilated and embarrassed, and it's disgraceful performances. So, and for that reason, as much as I want to look to the FA Cup semi-final, and of course, I'll still take 4 defeats if we manage to beat Villa, it's still not good to go into FA Cup semi-final with these kinds of defeats. Like, you want to have a bit of momentum going into it. But do you think the players are focusing on the semi-final then against Villa? Do you think that's
I feel like it's putting a lot of pressure because obviously that's like a big thing being in the semi-final. But I feel like these players can like block it out and just put their focus on when it comes to like that day. And we can hopefully see when it comes to the game against Villa, we can see what we've been seeing for the past like 2 months where we've been playing really good. Like obviously, like when we beat Leicester, West Ham, obviously Brighton at home as well. That was a great game. And I feel like as well for the game on Saturday against Bournemouth, that should also be quite an important game for us, so we can bounce back on the last 2 games.
So what do you do against Bournemouth? Because we kind of already discussed this on the show. I mean, what changes would you make? Because there isn't that many options that Glasgow's got, especially with the back three. Do you make changes at wing back? Do you change the front three? I mean, he subbed off the front three today. What do you do if you're Glasgow? Because, you know, as I said, 10 goals in the last 2 games. That's not Glasgow Palace that we've seen since he joined the club.
I feel like what I do for sure is I feel like I would start Ben Chilwell over Mitchell, and I would also start Wharton against Bournemouth, but obviously we want to keep like our good players rested for the game at Wembley. But I still give like Mateta, Eze, Wharton at least 50, 60 minutes. But if it doesn't go well in the Bournemouth game, then honestly, I've got no clue.
Yeah, and that's my worry. You know, as much as I want to focus on the semi-final, but we can't go now against Bournemouth and concede 3 goals as well. It's not going to give the players confidence. It's not going to give, you know, I want to go in to every single game with what Glasgow's been saying, trying to win those games. If we can't win it, let's lose. Let's lose with a bit of grace. But the last 2 games, we've lost. We haven't only lost, we've been just fresh. Battered. And I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen. Like, we can, you know, to me, it doesn't, I get it. The semi-final is the big game. It is the big game. But going into the semi-final with wins rather than defeats is going to help the whole team. It's going to help the fan base. If we now lose against Bournemouth and Arsenal, yes, it's still the semi-final. We'll be happy with fans, looking ahead to that game. But there might be a few question marks with the players, and maybe they might start questioning themselves defensively. And maybe we might start saying, what can we do against Villa? We've conceded, I don't know, 15 goals or 20 goals in 4 games. We don't want to talk about that. We don't want to, 10 goals in 2 games, and we've still got 2 more games coming up before the semi-final. I don't want to be talking about Palace have conceded 15 goals in 4 games because that sounds pathetic. So we need to go into that semi-final with something to lean on. And right now, it just feels like for the last 2 games, everything's dropped. But do you think Glasgow's played a part today, tactically? Do you think it's down to the players? What do you think it is? Because today, it was the body language to me of the players, it just seemed pathetic. They seemed like they just gave up.
I feel like for me, it could be a bit of both. Because when obviously watching the game later against Newcastle, you could see that the players were sloppy. They weren't making the right choices, and we just let Newcastle do Newcastle. They had that press in the midfield, which obviously caught us out. And I feel like that was our main issue, was them in the midfield bossing it around and popping it around us. And I'd also say that Lacroix as well, he wasn't looking at his best.
Mm-hmm. Was you surprised about Ben Chilwell not coming off for Mitchell?
Yeah, I was. I would be so real. I was screaming at halftime for him to come on.
Well, why do you think that was then?
I guess there's something that maybe Mitchell that thing he sees in Mitchell, or the manager, but I don't know. Obviously, it's been decent where he's obviously learning to cross the ball more now, but I don't know what Glasgow sees in Mitchell. He's a good player, don't get me wrong, but I feel like if Chilwell was there for sure, it would have been a bit better.
Could it be a sign that maybe Chilwell's not performing as well in training? Maybe Glasgow doesn't rate Chilwell as much.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, so that's I guess worrying. We haven't got that much left of the season, but I don't think we're ever going to really sign Ben Chilwell on a permanent deal. But yeah, today it was horrific, and I guess we'll see what happens against Bournemouth. But appreciate calling in, Ryan. Hopefully we catch up with you again.
Cheers.
Take care.
See you, mate. Bye.
That was Ryan having his say. You can call into the show as well by clicking on the pinned comment. If you haven't already done so, a bit of positive, I guess we can end the night with. If you can hit the like button, if you're enjoying the stream, that would be much appreciated. It takes a second of your time. But yeah, Patrick, that's where I stand right now with the. I spoke to Ryan there as well about the semi-final situation. I'd love us to win the semi-final, but I don't want to go into the semi-final saying we've conceded 15 goals in 4 games or God knows how many other goals that we're going to concede. We need to. This is an emergency against Bournemouth. We need to stop conceding goals. I'll take a 0-0 right now. We need to go back to basics. I don't know where that's going with low block, but semi-final, massive game. Of course, I want us to win it, but don't give Villa the confidence as well. Villa's going to be looking at these last 2 games thinking, damn, I know they beat us 4-1, but what's going on? Can we, don't give the players confidence. You want Villa to go into the game thinking, how can we break down Palace rather than let's go and attack Palace. We can definitely destroy them. Look how they've been playing recently. So for that reason alone, I know that you being a massive fan, you're like, the league, you haven't got much really hopes in it even before this game. Right. But surely you must be like a bit worried going into the Villa game if this trend continues. Like, we need to stop it.
No, as I mentioned not a long time after the Fulham game that I didn't care about performances, just win the matches and get through them. And obviously the league wasn't a big deal. But now, obviously, I'm very concerned about the performances now because you can't be shipping 5 goals. Again, much respect to Man City and Newcastle. You can't be shipping 5 goals, or even if it's away to them. If something's got to change defensively, as far as I don't think it's the personnel because limited changes, but the mindset's got to change. You're right. Well, we have to mid-block it and just be, tell Munoz and Mitchell not to go up and play more of a back 5 than a back 3 and play more through the midfield and play longer balls up to the wide players. Do that, but I shouldn't say wide. Yeah, to Sarr and Eze and not have Mitchell and Munoz go up, because there were a couple of times, I swear, well, I don't know which goal it was, when Mitchell and Munoz were way up in the other side. It counted, and we had like 2 defenders. 2 defenders. It was mad. I don't know what was going on. So that mentality, and I get it when when you're flying, but when you're down 2-3 goals and you're away and you're not playing well. It's again, I'm just a little bit. I'm in shock because I didn't expect this to happen back to back like this. I didn't think we'd win today. I think I said I think I may have taken. I picked 2-2 right in the, but I really thought that Newcastle flying. We'd be lucky to get a point out of this game, but 5-0 and the manner of the loss is what bothers me. Just the way they played. The subs came on and gave us a little bit of like, Kamada played. I thought Kamada did really well when he came on. Wharton was lively, Eze was lively, and Ketty was lively. But it was at that point it was what 4-0 or whatever 5-0. It's just that it was just the mindset as I'm worried about. I'm not worried about the loss is the loss. We've lost the game. It's over. But you're right. A 0-0 against Bournemouth and 0-0 against Arsenal. I'll take both that right now going into the final game. I need 2 clean sheets. I'm sorry. I don't care how good Arsenal are. They're probably playing. They're going to win today. I just thought they're going to beat. They're in the semi-final of the Champions League. The league's done for them. Hopefully they'll play a bunch of kids like we're probably going to do. But we won't play kids now, D. He's not going to rest players now. He can say, you want your place in the semi-final game? You show up next Wednesday. I'm telling you, he's not going to rest players now. You have to earn that spot, man. You have to earn that spot. And he's right to do that, I hope. Let them earn that spot for that semi-final game. Because the last 2 games, well, the last game and a half, actually the last 2 games, because they played well in the first half an hour against City. We did. Then we just capitulated. But the last 90 plus 30, last 120 minutes, I've been awful to watch, man. Head's gone, like just can't watch, unwatchable.
Terrible. Bollocks. Once again, we spoke last game, and your name sticks right now to Crystal Palace because honestly, another 5 goals conceded this time, no goals scored. What on earth is going on?
Okay, so firstly, I've only just tuned in. I had no battery left when I was in the pub, so I've just come back. So if I repeat anything that anybody else has said, I can only apologise.
No, that's fine.
Also should note, we should mention the fans that went to both of those last 2 games. Those were horror shows. So respect to those who've done that. I'm with Patrick and what he just said. It's the sort of thing you've got to say, next time I take you off, that could be costing you a place in the semi-final. Yeah. How often have we seen Eze, not after his penalty miss, but how often have we seen him do something a little bit wrong and sort of smile about it and not really care? And I'm not going to say, I'm not going to make him a scapegoat or anything or criticise him particularly because there's definitely worse players out there today. But why does he deserve to keep his place? It brings some magic now and then. But if you gave all those free kicks this season and now the penalty and all the corners this season, would someone like even Devaney or Kamada have more goals and assists to show for it? I mean, the last time he scored a free kick, I think, wasn't it that Brentford one that was disallowed? And that was a long time ago. Am I wrong in saying that? Has he scored a free kick since in the league? I don't think so.
Not this season, no.
No.
He's had free kicks that have led to goals, but no direct free kicks, no.
Yeah, I mean, he's got that 35-yard one to a T, that kind of scoop at the back post, coax the keeper out, and then either Gahey will shoot or knock it back across goal. Richards at the back stick. But his actual edge of the box free kicks, just a waste of time. Same with Lerma's throw-ins. I don't quite get what that's what about. There's a few things that they need to sort of be rolling for, a change in body language, a change in mentality, and one of them, the WhatsApp groups. I mean, someone made a great point. Barnes and Murphy, they're not massive names. They don't get the same sort of plaudits as Gordon, but they just do their job. They get on with it. They're focused. They're driven. They're clocking up the goals and assists and with minimal fuss. And it's just getting on and doing their job. Not sound like Roy Keane. Whereas someone like Eze, they're not having a giggle. They're having a laugh. They're not bothered if that throwing is awarded to us or the other team, but someone like Trippier will bark at the lino and the ref to make sure that it's their throwing. And it's those little edges that keep us out the top half of being the nice guys a bit too frequently, I think.
Chris,
I don't want it to become like horrible, evil gits, but that's maybe how I view it.
Chris, I'm not going to push back, but I want, listen, I'm furious at Eze for that penalty. I am, but let's relax a little bit. He did get us through the Fulham game. Without him, we don't get to the semi-final. He played well against Brighton. He played well against City in the first 3 minutes. He scored 2 goals, basically. Remember, he scored a goal. Second goal was ruled off. Today, he was awful. I'll give you that. But I don't think this is a day to kill Eze. I don't think that's fair. I really don't. I mean, I know we expect more out of him. I get that. But, and if you want, so I shouldn't say that. If you want to kill Eze for today, that's fair. But let's not kill him for the season. I mean, again, without Eze, we're not where we are in the cup. We wouldn't be. So I think that's, and again, I'm furious. That penalty kick was the worst. I knew he was going to miss it, by the way. I could tell because the way he takes
Yeah,
penalty
exactly.
kicks whenever he
I
takes
could
them,
tell before he even
that
took it.
type of
And
penalty
that's
is
crazy
garbage. Ayew did it. Mateka did it. That start step, I hate it. Put your foot through the ball. And if you miss, I don't mind. That's why I love Mateta's penalty kicks. But that aside, honestly, I can't. That was terrible today. But I'm not going to kill him for the season because the numbers aren't there. But he has pulled us through a lot of games this season, to be fair. So that's just my opinion anyway.
Remember when Mateta took that penalty against West Ham, and I think the goalkeeper got a hand of it, but because it was powerful,
So
he
powerful,
still
he
went
couldn't
in.
save it.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand why I overcomplicate and not.
Your foot through it. I hate that style, man. That start step, wait for the goal to. Whoever does that well is Ivan Toney. But you know why he does it well? He looks at the keeper. So he knows the keeper's moves. He doesn't. Everything doesn't do that. He looks through it. He wants him to move, then he's gonna kick the ball. Then he kicks it soft. Tony looks at the keeper, makes him move, and then kicks it to the other side, which is, by the way, very hard to do. I don't know how he does that. But that penalty, that starts. I absolutely they should outlaw that kick because I hate it. I hate it. Oh my god! And I knew again. He just takes some of the worst penalty kicks. I don't know.
You better not do that if we go to penalty shootouts and
oh my god! See, that's all I thought about.
I'd rather glass over the bar than
we're done.
Like that.
We're done. Penalty kicks, we're done. If they're gonna do
I
that,
don't think he's taking another penalty anyways this season. I think Mateta's going to be taking. I don't know why Mateta didn't even take it in the first place. I don't know.
No, that's a good question. No, I don't. I get a bit coming from Patrick. Yeah, right. He got the goal against Stockport, whatever else, and then I cut running things, but I don't think he's been as valuable to us. He's not alone in it this season as he should have done. Like, same goes for someone like Ward, who's coming back from his injury and stuff. But I want to see him achieve more. If he wants a big move, if he wants us to be like a stepping stone, then sort of prove it. Or you're not going to get much better than someone like a Spurs or Everton come in for you.
Different conversation. I agree. If he wants a big move, I'm just saying though, and I see people in the chat trying to like rattle me with their comments. I'm not even looking there, but I'm telling you, Eze has done. Someone said he has done more bad than good. No, he hasn't. He has not been at the level he was last year because they had Olise helping him, but he has not been poor the entire season. We want him to go to another level, and I get that. I get it. He hasn't got to that next level, but he hasn't been as bad as people want to make it out to be. But today, he was bad. So hear me good. Today, he was bad. But he has been bad for the last 4 or 5 games. But today, he was bad. That's all I'm trying to say. So
no, I get it now. Well, yeah, he's underwhelmed me this season. That's what I'm going to say. And even though it's bad today, I don't think he was the worst. I think Max at the back was had a stinker, but again, he wasn't alone. That's for sure. Yeah.
The defense was terrible. That's my biggest concern. You can miss a penalty, Mateta can take the next penalty, you move on. You can find a solution to that. But to the defense, when you don't have that many defenders, what do you do?
Yeah, what can you choose? Yeah, so like I don't know that Chilwell's warranted to me a start. I think he played well against Brighton in that the kind of the resistance, as it were, that Alamo thing. But like he didn't, he hasn't done much for me in other games. Munoz has to play every minute regardless. It seems. I don't know why he can't have a bit of rotation. But yeah, we've only really got 3 proper centre backs, and then Lerma was helping out in midfield today for most of the game. So what else can Glasner do? I don't know. I don't know if he could trust academy kids in this sort of situation. But I would.
So what do you do then? Like you say, you don't know, but do you reckon he's going to keep the same back line? Because I don't know what else. I wouldn't start Chilwell at the back as centre back.
No. I wouldn't start. I just don't, like I said, I don't think Chilwell's done enough for me. Maybe give him a run out just to give Mitchell a breather. But no, the Bournemouth, I think I agree with you. We've got to just concentrate on the defence, try and somehow, even if it starts in midfield and it becomes a very gritty midfield performance, then do it that way. Give it a bit more steel in midfield, squeeze out and 1-0 or 0-0. But it's a worrying time for like to fall in this sort of form and be this open up, especially against teams like Bournemouth, Villa, Arsenal, who score goals for fun. It's not been a good run of fixtures, and we're not going to do Europe in the league now. I think it's clear that we're wobbling too much. So just rotate a bit and focus on that FA Cup final, semi-final. Sorry.
Do you think we're getting a bit carried away with the FA Cup semi-final, forgetting the present? I asked Patrick. It's hard to say because right now, I like we'll see what the manager says. But do you think since the Fulham game, the only team that we've beaten is Brighton? We've faced Southampton, City, and Newcastle, and Brighton. That's the only win that we've got.
Yeah, no,
I won an away game. Funny enough. the Fulham one. We haven't won an away game. The only game that we won was at home against Brighton. That's a bad turn. Are we going to be like invincible now at home? It can't be terrible away.
No, maybe that's the way. No, I feel it's not. It's a combination of it's human to slack a bit, but maybe they just know that there's no one else to really take their place. There's no one that Glasner trusts to truly step in. But it's still not acceptable. It's not nice for the fans, obviously, and it's not doing them any favors if they want better moves. And God knows how we just need to be good for those 90 minutes, 120 minutes at Wembley. That's pretty much what I'm bothered about for next month or so. It's a bit sad it's come to that. We're not finishing above Brighton, but we got the 6 points off them. So yeah.
I have a thought. We have 2 matches before Villa, and 100% they need to earn their spots. Bournemouth, the game doesn't mean anything except for getting us out of this rut. It doesn't mean anything. I would love him being the manager. You keep the back 3 because there's no point breaking up Mitchell. No point breaking up Lacroix, Gahey, and Richards. But I would start Chilwell. I would start Kapora. I would start Nketiah up front. I start Esse, and I would start França. And I would have Wharton and Hughes in midfield. That's what I would do. And that would shake up Esse. That would shake up Mateta. That would shake up Saw. Saw needs a rest, by the way. That would shake up Mitchell. And that shakes up Munoz. Now, they'll be back for the semi. But I tell you right now, it would shake them up. That's what I would do.
I agree with every word. And lineup.
I start Turner 2 in goal. I start Turner over Henderson. I would on Saturday. I do that.
That's crazy. That's fair. I don't know about.
I did it on purpose. I found on purpose.
What Glazer said, I haven't got the full quotes. I can't show it as well because it's on Sky Sports. But he said, I can see it in terms of the quote that they put up. He said, "What's spoken in the dressing room stays in the dressing room." Of course, he said more than that, but that's part of his thing. So I guess he was asked about what was said, but he's like, he's not letting the media know. So interesting. I don't know what was said in the change rooms, but. Normally, he's very upfront. Glazer's very upfront. Like he doesn't hold back. He says whatever he needs to say. He doesn't really play mind games. But the fact that he's saying what stays in the dressing room stays in the dressing room, maybe some harsh words were said. That's my prediction.
Yeah, no, I'm with Patrick and his lineup. That's sort of up against Bournemouth. Bournemouth might, I don't know, if they might see it on the inside, they might. I don't really care what they think about it. It's not about them. It's about our run and our cup semi-final, and does it matter if I know there's a million or 2 in it, does it matter if we're 10th, 8th, 12th after all this? I just want that cup, or to give it a damn good go.
It's not about me at Bournemouth. I'm trying to send a message to those players and say, you know what, I need you to buck your ideas out. It's not about wanting to set out a lineup, because I think that those guys actually will play decently together, because they want to start in the semi-final, right? So what if for example, Chilwell has a blinder. He could start in the semi-final over Mitchell. That wouldn't, right? Kapora probably wouldn't, obviously. But I'm just saying, maybe a rocket is what they need. I don't know. Again,
do you think some of these players have become comfortable then with them starting?
I think they don't want to get injured. I think they don't want to get injured for the semi. I think they just don't want to get hurt. Honestly, but that's what I believe. They just don't want to get hurt. That's what I believe.
But even when our subs came on and it was just quickly gone to 5, that I honestly thought Devaney and everyone else that came on that's a bit more professional than anyone else that had been on before them.
Right.
And who out of those players who can complain against Southampton and City and then today? Who can say, no, I deserve to keep my place, boss? I don't think any of them could go knock on the door and get angry about it. Like, they've all been shit. 1 through to 11 or whatever numbers they're wearing. So, do you agree, Busty? Is it a hat trick for us 3 to actually agree or something?
Yeah, I agree. But then, when you look at the defense, do you think Lacroix, Gahey, or Richards are really worried about losing their spots?
But again, those are the 3 I said they couldn't lose it. There's no, they're lucky. But again,
but
in their defense, though, Eze, based on the season, could lose his spot because he's been up and down. Lacroix, Gahey, and Richards have been very good all year.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying, when it comes to like certain positions, Mateta maybe could be a bit nervous because he's been subbed off.
He's not
pretty much cemented that spot as well. Like, I think some of these players, they know that they will be starting that game. Realistically, I think some of them will. I think maybe the midfield, there has been rotations, but looking at certain positions, Munoz knows he's starting. I don't think. Mitchell right now seems pretty comfortable. So that's the reason why the next game is big, because Glasgow could actually send out that message that no,
The next two,
you can
also
get
game 2, they could do the same thing for Arsenal though. You see the same thing for Arsenal, same
Do
kind of
you
lineup,
think
and
he
just
will?
say, you
Do
know
you
what?
think he will though? Or do you think he just show blind faith to somebody's and tire them more? Like I'm not gonna like start hating Glasgow, but I think he's got this a bit wrong, and he's just showing too much faith and not giving those who have something to improve a chance. But I'm obviously thinking more on football.
I've got no issue with I have no issue with Glasner. I mean, he admitted when he made a mistake at Man City. I don't think he made a mistake today. I don't think today's on the manager. I don't think.
Yeah, I think it's more on the players. I think Man City. I think the reason why we lost that City game, I know people talk about Kamada. I think it was Glasner because of the subs at half time against City. But for today, I'm just looking at the players. By the way, what Pardew said as well, of course, went to FA Cup final with him. He said that he said the performance looked like the players were protecting themselves a little bit.
There you go. I'm telling you, it's a mindset you can't get out of your head.
He's been to FA Cup final, so he knows. But if that's the case, if they're protecting themselves, then why even play them?
Yeah, I agree. And it shouldn't be a reward for them being lazy, but to get a week off or two. But as Patrick puts it, let them know that, okay, you might think this is secured and guaranteed right for the back three. It probably is. But everyone else, you need to worry. And if someone turns up against Bournemouth and Arsenal and it's the opposition, well, then don't do that again. You won't lose your place again in a hurry. He's not done that enough this year. Yes, we've had injury problems, but there's been times that players have been out of form for a little too long without him rotating them, in my opinion. But maybe I'm just too harsh.
Yeah, I mean, real quick, I have to leave. But I remember the year we got to the semi-final against Chelsea. The Leicester match was awful the week before. It was terrible. The players definitely played that game that they didn't want to get injured. And then what happened in the following week? We lost anyway. So it's a mindset that happens all the time. You kind of can't help yourself. You're not like doing it on purpose, but let's be honest. If you got semi-final, a chance to get to Wembley in a cup final, you're going to kind of not play as hard as you normally would. I hate the idea of it, but it's a fact in football. And again, Pardew backs it up. That's what happened to the players. It happens. It just happens. I mean, it's football.
Yeah, it does. Look, we're gonna wrap up. Chris, great having you on. Hopefully,
thanks, Chris.
Hopefully, we don't concede another 5 in the next game, and we could actually talk about something rather than like what on earth is going on.
Yeah, well, at least won't be too far to get home from that one. But
good point.
Exactly. All right, then take care.
Take care, Chris.
All right, cool people. We're gonna wrap up now. If you have enjoyed it, hit the like button and subscribe before leaving. I don't know how you're not going to do ratings if you are, but the ratings potentially could be dropping tomorrow. We'll see. And the preview for Bournemouth. Right, in a preview, there's a lot to talk about now. Let's just say that. Like, what on earth is going on? So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for content over the next few days. That's it from us. And until next time, up the Palace.
Up the Palace.